222. Are we recording? Yes. What's going on, everybody? It is your man Cleveland Terry, and we were about to do a Rain 7D comparison video, and I went to get my overhead working properly, and I was having trouble. So we're going to swap that video. We're going to slide this over, and we're going to talk about the Crosstour Ct9500 that I received for review from this company. If you know anything about my previous videos and you've watched them, you know that I've had this Crosstour as my overhead cam on all of my DJ setups. I have the front cam, and then I have the overhead looking right down at the turntables, showing what I do. The issue is, when it works really, really well. But when it doesn't work, I want to throw this thing in the trash can. Now, the problem is, let's not talk about the problem just yet. As far as a action cam goes, as far as it being able to take it out and shoot on the fly, being able to shoot different angles, narrow, medium, wide, super wide, it gives you all the bells and whistles that like your standard GoPro would give you. Now, would I compare this to the GoPro 8 as far as the quality? No, it's probably closer to like a GoPro 6, maybe 7 as far as the quality is concerned. It gives out a decent picture, but it's nowhere near that GoPro 8. That GoPro 8 is shooting on a different level, in all honesty. But what I found very useful in this camera was that it could be used as a webcam. So basically all you have to do is plug in the USB right here, send it right into your computer. Your computer reads it automatically as a webcam. That is the reason that I use this camera. That's what makes this camera great. But that's also what makes this camera sucky, because it has a mind of its own when it tries to connect. So one of the things that I did automatically when I started having trouble with the camera is I took the battery out because I needed to do a complete hard reset, and the only way to do that was to remove the battery. So there's no battery in here. There's just the SD card, because it does require an SD card to be used. Even if you don't record from it, you need to have the SD card. Basically, all you need to do is open up this little side panel and plug in your mini USB, micro USB, sorry. And then it'll make that noise and it will start to work, and then it'll switch over to this little option right here that says, do you want to use it as a webcam? You can either use it as your storage to be able to pull files off your storage, or use it as a webcam. You hit the little record button right here and it switches over to webcam. That's all you need to do. Once that's there, it's supposed to work properly. But here is the problem. On this computer, I have another overhead cam. I have my main cam, and then the webcam widget. Webcam is this guy. So right now, the computer can't see it. Doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know why it's not working. In order to get this thing to work, I have to reset my computer probably 7 times. Sometimes it works on the 2nd try, sometimes it works on the 12th try, but it usually requires me having to restart the computer. The good news is that when it does get connected, if you don't unplug the power. So for instance, I typically have this camera going into a hub. That's a powered hub, so the signal is always technically being broadcasted. If you send this to a hub and you don't turn it off, it will stay on indefinitely. But the moment, and I mean the moment, that you unplug it, you're gonna have to go through this whole thing all over again. And that's incredibly frustrating about this thing. As far as the picture quality is concerned, it only broadcasts to 720 as a webcam. So that alone makes for a pretty pitiful looking video. But as we know, in quarantine, there weren't a lot of options out there. Things were being sold, you know, by the boatloads, and nobody could get anything. So this was a really good option for a lot of people. I know a lot of people bought like the one beneath it, the 9100. Some people bought super cheap ones. I was only talking about the 9500. This one does work as a webcam when it wants to work. Now, I emailed the company before I did this review to ask them if there was anything they could do to fix it. Was there a firmware coming out to fix this? And I did not get a response. And I emailed them 3 times to try to get them to please respond before I made this video. They would not respond to it. Strangely enough, now when I look at the Amazon, I notice that I don't see the fact that you can use it as a webcam anymore. So maybe they were having problems with that. I don't know. But I know that as far as this is concerned, at the price point that they want for it as an action camera, the price point is really, really good. I mean, it's typical. GoPro's probably going to cost you what, $300, $400, and this one being under $100, that's a steal. But if you want to use it as something for your streaming, as a webcam for your streaming, then I cannot recommend this because of how unreliable it is. When it works, but again, you're still getting a pretty basic level resolution. And I'm going to show you another camera that may be a better one, and it's far cheaper. So instead of buying this guy, you should buy this guy. This is the Wyze Cam. It's an indoor security cam that over the break, Wyze decided to give basically a hack to turn this into a webcam, because they knew that a lot of people weren't able to get webcams because everybody was at home. So they devised a little bit of a little hack that changes the security camera to strictly a webcam. And the only thing you need if you buy one of these is you need a USB to USB. So it has to have USB on this side and then USB just like this on the other side. They're actually really, really cheap. I bought like a 10-footer for like, it was like $12 off of Amazon. But once you get it, the quality of this camera is actually very, very good. Now, you can never compare my main professional camera to this camera. Don't ever do that. This camera operates on a whole different level. I'm only comparing this to like your basic action cams, your webcams, or whatnot. Okay, so let's switch this over. And like I said, it's going to be unfair, and I apologize already that it's going to be unfair. So here are the two differences to this camera. The camera on my right is the Crosstour, and the camera on my left is the Wyze Cam. Now you can see the difference. There's a better color palette. The colors are more accurate to the colors that I'm actually wearing right now. There's different color separation. As you can see in the back, the colors that it's seeing on that wall compared to the colors that are seeing on the other wall. I mean, it's blue. That's the color that's hitting the top of the ceiling. It's blue. So even though there is definitely a little color wash for this blue, it's actually making it almost fluorescent, but that is the color. This white color right here, I don't know why it's showing that as a white color, because it is definitely not white, it is blue. We're talking about this Crosstour camera, which is, I believe it's either $69 or $79. Okay, still really, really affordable for a on-the-go kind of action cam, okay? I don't want to take that away from you. But if you're using it strictly for streaming, this one right here, $25. You can buy 3 of these cameras, set them up all around your room, buy a few of these 10-foot USB to USBs, and you're set. Done. Can't do that with this one. That's assuming that it's even going to work when it says it's going to work. I haven't had any issues with these. I literally just plug it in and it works. Now the only difference is you do have to go to the Wyze site and download their little DMG to install onto the firmware. It's basically updating the firmware to turn it into a webcam. Now, once you turn it into a webcam, it no longer works as a security cam. If you want to use the security cam features, you have to load in the other firmware. It's one or the other, but I only bought this as a webcam. So I'm a firm believer that these things in a pinch are much better, and they're available. You can get these things at Home Depot for $25. You can get them online for $25. They're everywhere, and they are available. So if you're going to get one and you're not trying to do action stuff, you just need a cam for your house, this is the one to get, the Wyze Cam right here. If you found what I said are useful, hit that like button. If you found what I said are really useful, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on the Instagrams and the Twitters. And of course, last but not least, it is always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.